What's up guys? Welcome back sa ating channel. Again, I am your math teacher, Sir Gaor. And hindi po kayo nagkakamali ng channel, no? Nasa Maths Up guys po kayo. Okay? So, ini-improve lang natin yung ating channel para mas presentable, mas madali niyong maintindihan, at mas magandang panoorin. Okay? So, today we will be discussing about rational algebraic expressions. Okay? So, kung sa tingin nyo mas nagustuhan nyo itong ganitong klase ng setup natin, you may like this video. And also, kung anong gusto nyong sabihin doon, kung anong comment nyo para sa ating bagong video, paki-comment po. And sa mga hindi pa natin subscribers, please subscribe. Okay, so kagaya po ng nakasanayan natin dito sa ating Maths Up channel, so magkakaroon po muna ulit tayo ng drill. Okay, so the directions is to factor completely each polynomial. Okay, so ready na po ba ang ating mga materials? Good luck! Okay, so here are the correct answers for our drill. Okay, so pwede po yung baligtad ha? Pwede silang baligtad because multiplication is commutative. Okay? I hope you got a score of 5. So, kung hindi man po, paki-review po ang inyong answers. Okay po? So, let us recall a previous lesson that is necessary for our lesson for today. And that will be laws of exponents. So, ano nga ulit itong mga laws of exponents na to? Okay, number 1 is product of powers. So, in product of powers, if we have a to the m times a to the n, so we will have a to the m plus n. So, if they have the same base, you're just going to add their exponents. Copy the same base and add the exponents. Okay, for example, if we have x to the third times x to the fourth times x. So, remember, ang exponent nitong x na to ay 1. So, hindi lang siya nakasulat because it's obvious or it's automatic. So, therefore, that will be 3 plus 4 plus 1 for the exponents. So, that will be x to the 8. For letter B, if we have 2 to the 4th times 2 to the 6, so i-add lang yung exponents nila since they have the same base. 4 plus 6 is 10, so that is 2 to the 10. But 2 to the 10, we can evaluate that. So that is 2 times 2 times 2, 10 times 2 itself. And that will be 1024. Okay, another law of exponent is what we call the power of a power. So, paano naman yung power of a power? If we have a to the m raised to the n, so we have a to the mn. So, ang ginawa naman sa exponents nila, minultiply. Okay, so therefore, for example, if we have x to the third raised to the fifth, that will be x to the third times 5. No? 3 times 5 yung kanilang exponents, so we have x to the 15. Another example, if we have 3 to the 3 squared raised to the fourth, so 2 times 4 yung exponents. And that is 3 to the 8. And 3 to the 8, pwede uling evaluate. That's 3 times 3, 8 times by itself. So, ang lalabas dun ay 6,561. Okay, so let's continue. We also have power of a product. So, power of a product, if we have AB to the M, so i-distribute lang po yung exponent na M dito sa A, tapos di-distribute din sa B. So, we have A to the M, B to the M. Parang na-discuss na rin halos natin to do sa special products natin, no? Okay, for example, if we have x to the 5th, y to the 8 raised to the 4th. So, yung 4 ay multiply sa 5, yung 4 ay multiply sa 8. So, i-multiply lang or di-distribute lang yung exponent na 4. And 5 times 4 is 20, and then 8 times 4 is 32. So, the answer is x to the 20th, y to the 32nd. Okay, another example. So, if we have negative 2ab squared c to the 7th raised to the 6. So, itong lahat ng c to the 6 na to, i-distribute dun sa negative 2, i-distribute dun sa a, i-distribute dun sa b squared, at i-distribute sa c to the 7th. So, tigi-tigisa sila. So, yun ang nangyayari. Evaluate lang isa-isa. Negative 2 to the 6, that will be positive 64 because the exponent is even, kaya naging positive na tayo. A to the 6, B to the 12, and C to the 42nd. Okay po? Next, number 4, quotient of a power. So, in quotient of a power, so, ito naman siya. So, if we have A to the M, over A to the N, so, ima-minus naman yung ating exponent. So, we have A to the M minus N. Kabaligtaran lang ito nung number 1 kanina. Provided that M is greater than n. So, dapat mas malaki yung m sa n. Okay? Okay, so for example, if we have b to the 8 over b to the 5, so 8 minus 5, so that is b to the third. So, ganun lang siya kasimple. And then, another example, let's have a complicated one. W to the 4th x cubed y z to the 5th over w to the 7 x y to the 6 y to the 6 z squared. Okay, so pansinin natin to. Yung w, mas malaki yung nasa baba ng tatlo. W to the 7, W to the 4th. So, ang mangyayari, may iwan dito sa baba yung W ng tatlo. Kasi mas malaki siya ng tatlo kaysa dun sa taas. Okay? Nakuha po yun? Ito, yung x cube, mas malaki sa taas kaysa dito sa x to the first dito sa baba. So, sobra ng dalawa yung sa taas, kaya may iwan ng ang x squared sa taas. Kung saan yung mas malaki, dun may iwan. Y, tapos y to the 6 to, mas malaki ng 5 itong sa ilalim, kaya may iwan sa ilalim yung y to the 5th. Z to the 5th, wow, z squared, so mas malaki ng tatlo to, so that's why z squared may iwan sa taas. So, ganun yun ha. Okay, so another one is power of a fraction. So, paano naman yung power of a fraction? So, kagaya lang ito nung number 3, kaya lang divide naman to for our fraction. If we have a over b to the m, so, i-distribute lang po natin yung exponent na m sa taas, tsaka dito rin sa baba. I-distribute din sa baba, sa taas at tsaka sa baba. Okay? So, we have a to the m over b to the m. Okay, for example, so if we have c to the 5th, d to the 11th raised to the 4th, so, dinistribute yung 4 sa taas tsaka sa baba. So, 5 times 4 is 20 and d times, or 11 times 4 is 44. Another example, so yan, may numerical coefficient na. So, pati sa numerical coefficient, nakadistribute din siya. Bali, naging 3 squared, kaya naging 9 ito. Okay? Tapos, 2 times 5 is 10. Okay? And then, sa baba, 2 squared, so that is 4. And then, 2 times 3 is 6. Remember, sa numerical coefficient, imumultiply siya sa sarili, ha? Kaya ito naging 9. So, that is 3 times 3. Okay? And number 6, we also have power of 0 exponent. So, paano yun? Sabi lang dito, ito, napakadali. Any number raised to 0, the answer is any number or any variable, when it is raised to the 0, the answer is always 1. Kapag ang exponent ay 0, so 1 lang ang iisipin. Okay? So, for example, x to the mn to the 4th, or 7 rather, 7x, or 7mn to the 4th, x to the 5th, raised to the 0, so the answer is 1. Ito, kahit fraction pa siya, basta siya ay naka-raise sa 0, so the answer is 1 also. Okay? Okay, so we also have another law of exponent, which is power of negative exponent. So, paano ba yon? So, if we have a to the negative n, that will be equal to 1 over n. Okay? Or 1 over raised to negative n, so that will be equal to 1 over n. So, ano bang ibig sabihin nito? So, explain ko lang na mabilis, no? Kung meron daw tayong negative exponent, kung nasa taas siya, ibababa natin. Tapos, gagawing positive yung exponent. Vice versa, kung meron kang negative exponent at nasa baba siya, iaangat mo para maging positive ang exponent. Okay? And do not give your answer also with negative exponents. So, dapat, pag nagbigay ng final answer, positive lahat ng exponents. Okay, for example, ito. 5 raised to negative 2, so that will be 1 over 5 squared. So, naging positive na yung ating exponent sa baba. Nasa baba na siya, tapos naging positive na. Okay? And then, 5 squared, remember, is 25. So, therefore, that will be 1 over 25. Okay, another example. So, this is a more complicated one. So, paano ba ito masasagot? Meron tayong negative exponent doon sa pinakalabas. So, unang ginawa, dahil meron tayong negative exponent dito, ginawa muna natin siyang positive exponent. Ayun, naging positive na rito. So, anong ginawa? Lahat ng nasa ibabaw, lahat ng nasa taas na to, nilagay sa ilalim. Tapos, lahat naman ng nasa ilalim, nilagay naman sa ibabaw kasi pinalitan nga natin yung exponent. So, yun ang nangyari dahil ginawa nating positive ang exponents. Pero, same pa rin lahat ng signs nila, ha? Kung negative, negative pa rin. Kung positive, positive pa rin. Okay? Kasi ito lang muna ang ginawa natin. Yung negative 4, ginawa nating positive 4. Okay, nagpalit na sila ng pwesto. Ngayon, lahat naman nung negative na exponents dito, ilalagay na natin or gagawin na nating positive. So, that will be, ayan. So, itong a to the negative 4 na to, naging positive 4. Tapos, yung b to the negative 16, naging positive 16, pero din nila sa baba. Yung b to the negative 12 na to, umakyat na. Yan, lahat na sila positive. So, yung wala sa pwesto, lahat ng merong negative exponent. So, lahat ng mga yan. Ginawa lang positive exponent. Yung nasa taas, binaba. Yung nasa baba, inakyat. Okay, and then afterwards, sinimplify na. So, yung lahat ng a, pinagsama dito. So, kaya naging a to the 24th. Yung b, sobra ng 4 sa baba. 12 sa taas, 16 sa baba. Kaya b to the 4th. Yung c, 24 sa taas, 4 sa baba. So, minus natin, 20. Mas lamang yung taas, kaya may iwan sa taas. So, ganun po yun. Okay, since bagong chapter, bagong topic, punta muna tayo sa mga definition of terms na kakailanganin nating alam or malaman para mas madali nating maintindihan yung ating lesson. Okay, let's have first the definition, rational equation. Ang symbol the symbol for rational equation is Q. So, Q stands for quotient. No, kasi pag sinabing rational, ano bang ibig sabihin pag sinabing rational? Is any number that can be expressed as quotient of two integers with the denominator not equal to 0. So, bawal pong magkaroon ng denominator na equal to 0. No? Bawal na bawal yon. Hindi pwedeng magkaroon ng denominator na equal to 0. Okay. In symbols, if we have a over b, where b is not equal to 0. So, bawal daw maging 0 yung b. Tandaan nyo yun, ha? Mamaya gagamitin natin yun. The denominator should not be equal to 0. Okay, for example ng mga rational numbers, negative 1/2. So, hindi naman mag-0 yung denominator niyan. We also have 0 over 9. Yung 0 over 9, 9 naman sa ilalim. So, hindi naman siya mag-0 sa ilalim. And then, 23 over 24, square root of 25. So, rational din yan. Kasi sakto naman, or perfect square number naman yung 25. We also have 0. We also have 50 over 5. So, those are examples of rational number. So, what is now a rational algebraic expression? Okay, a rational algebraic expression is the quotient of two polynomials with the value of the denominator not equal to 0. So, ganun pa rin, no? Ganun pa rin yung sinasabi. Yung denominator daw, wag daw dapat maging equal sa 0. Okay? So, yun. And then, also called algebraic fraction. So, algebraic fraction. Naka-fraction tapos algebra, gumagamit ng variables. Okay, in symbols, if we have P over Q, where Q is not equal to 0. So, bawal maging 0 ang value ng Q. Okay, for example, examples, if we have negative x over 2, rational algebraic expression yan. 5 over x also, y plus 2 all over y, 4 minus y. This one also is a rational algebraic expression, and this one also is a rational algebraic expression. At ito rin, na natatakban, rational algebraic expression din yan. Okay? Okay, so let's move on. Ito naman, para at least ma-distinguish nyo kung ano naman yung hindi rational algebraic expressions. These are not rational algebraic expression. Square root of x, yan. Kapag may radical sign, so hindi na siya rational algebraic expression. Okay, 5 over y raised to 1/3. So, yung mga naka-red na yan yung mga ni-red ko siya para makita nyo na yan yung reason kung bakit siya hindi rational algebraic expression. Kasi meron siyang fractional exponent. So, una, dalawa lang naman sila, no? Kapag merong, yung variable ay nasa loob ng radical sign, at pangalawa, yung variable ay naka-raise sa fractional exponent. Okay, for number 3, ayun, meron siyang radical sign, yung variable. For number 4, may radical sign ulit. And for number 5, may fractional exponent siya. So, those are examples of not rational algebraic expressions. Sana malinaw po yun, ha? Alright, next one. Okay, let's go now to the domain. Okay, so ano ba yung domain na yan? Okay, the domain is the set of all possible values of the variable that are allowed or permissible. So, yung pwedeng maging value ng variables or variable natin na pinapayagan. So, meron ding hindi papayagan. So, ito yung mga papayagan. So, ito yung mga na aprobahan or pwede. Okay, but the question now is how can we identify those values that are allowed or permissible? Paano natin malalaman yung mga values na pwede tsaka hindi pwede? Okay, disapproved if, so hindi papayagan kung number 1, undefined. Pag naging undefined siya, ang ibig sabihin ng undefined ay yung denominator ay nag-equal to 0. Kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan, bawal maging equal to 0 ang denominator, kaya undefined to. No? So, kanina pa natin binabanggit yun. So, if the denominator is equal to 0. Okay? Okay, so therefore, if we have 1 over x, for example, kung meron tayong 1 over x, dapat daw yung value ng x ay hindi magiging 0. Sa lahat, pwede. Huwag lang yung 0 na value ng x. So, pwedeng 1, pwedeng 2, pwedeng 3. Kahit negative pa, pwede. Huwag lang 0. Kasi pag 0 yung denominator dito, undefined na siya. Okay? So, undefined siya. Next, number 2. Imaginary. So, paano naman yung imaginary? The radicand is equal to a negative value. No? Kapag sinolve natin yung radicand, pinompute natin yung nasa radical sign, nasa loob ng radical sign, lalabas siya na negative yung kanyang value. Okay, so for example, square root of x. So where x is greater than or equal to 0. So kung meron ka raw square root of x, so dapat yung value ng x mo mas malaki o kaya pantay sa 0. Kasi pag lumiit na sa 0, negative na siya. Kaya ang pwede lang, ang mga approved lang, ay yung dalawang yan. So kapag may denominator ka, so ulitin natin, pag meron kang denominator na variable, dapat hindi siya mag-equal sa 0. At tapos, kung meron kang radical sign, so dapat din mas malaki siya or pantay sa 0. Okay? So let's go to the examples on how to find the domain. Okay, the directions is to find the domain of the following rational algebraic expressions. Again, yung domain po, yung pinag-uusapan nating domain, yung pwedeng maging value ng variable. Now, may mga hindi po pwede. So, yung mga pwede ang hahanapin natin. Okay, this one. Start tayo. Titignan natin kapag binigyan tayo ng algebraic or rational algebraic expressions. Tignan natin, may denominator ba to na variable? Wala naman, wala nga siyang fraction no? Meron bang radical sign na variable? So wala rin, wala namang radical sign, no? Or radical sign or variable na nasa loob ng radical sign rather. Meron ba tayong variable na nasa loob ng radical sign? So wala rin. Yung radical sign po na sinasabi ko, yung ganito yung parang square root symbol, no? Pero radical sign ang tawag diyan. Okay, so wala naman. So ibig sabihin, walang bawal, lahat pwede. Kapag lahat pwede, ang sagot natin, the domain is the set of all real numbers. So, ganyan ang ating sasagot kapag walang bawal. Number 2. So, number 2, may fraction tayo. Pero yung fraction ba, ito ba ay variable? Yung 2 ba sa ilalim, variable ba yan? So, hindi naman Wala nang chance ang maging 0 yan kasi 2 lang lagi yan. So, therefore, domain natin, ganun pa rin. So, wala rin tayong radical sign. So, our domain is still all real numbers. Okay? Next, number 3. Number 3, may variable na tayo sa ilalim, no? Okay, kapag meron ng variable sa ilalim, ganito gagawin. Kukuhanin mo yung variable na nasa ilalim kapag fraction. Ayan, di ba? X. Tapos, lalagyan natin ng not equal to 0. So, the value of x should not be equal to 0. Kasi pag nag-0 yan, magiging undefined. Yung sinasabi natin kanina. Now, again, ang kinuha lang natin, kinuha natin yung variable na x, tapos nilalagyan ng not equal to 0. Kapag denominator yun. Okay? Lalagyan ng not equal to 0. So, yan na agad. Wala na tayo ko-compute. X should not be equal to 0. So, therefore, our domain now is all real numbers. Lahat pwede. Wag lang daw 0. So, all real numbers except 0. Dahil may exemption tayo rito. Nagkaroon tayo ng exemption dito. Okay? So, ganun po yun. Number 4. So, pag may nakita na ulit denominator na variable, gaya nito, may 2x minus 6, we will not mind the numerator. Hindi natin papakialaman yung numerator. Doon lang tayo sa denominator palagi. Get that denominator. That's 2x minus 6. Tapos, lalagyan ulit ng not equal to 0. Tapos, co-compute na. Tsaka na i-compute. Yung 6 ay lilipat natin dito sa kanan, yung transposition method na ginagamit natin. So, that will be 2x should not be equal to 6. No? Not equal ang gagamitin natin palagi. Ha? Okay. Tapos, i-divide na parehas by 2, divided by 2 on both sides. So, therefore, x should not be equal to 3. So, bawal daw yung 3. So, bakit naging 3? Kasi kung 2 times 3, 6. 6 minus 6, 0. Bawal nga yun no? Bawal mag-0 yung ilalim. Kapag ang value ng x ay 3, magsi-0 yung denominator. Kaya bawal siya. So therefore, kagaya lang answer natin dito kanina. So therefore, we'll have the domain is all real numbers. May exemption ulit. Lahat pwede. Wag lang 3. Okay po. So ganun po yun ha. Next, number 5. Okay, so again, we will just mind the denominator. Titignan mo lang yung denominator. You will not mind the numerator. Tapos, pag nakuha mo na yung denominator, lalagyan mo lang palagi ng, okay, that's the denominator, lalagyan lang ng not equal to 0. Okay? So, yan. And then, ang ginawa, pinactor na natin. So, 3x squared minus 18x, may factor siya na 3x, tsaka quantity x minus 6. Okay, applying zero property. So, bawat isa sa kanila, yung 3x, lalagyan, at bawat isang factor, itong 3x, lalagyan ng not equal to 0. Tsaka ito pang isa na x minus 6, lalagyan din ng not equal to 0. So, kanya-kanya sila ng solve. Okay? So, compute natin to. Tapos, compute natin to. So, divided by 3. So, x, pag dinivide natin to by 3, yung 3x not equal to 0 divided by 3, 0 pa rin yun, no? Ang 0 divided by 3, so remember, 0 divided by any number, for example, 3, the answer, kung 0 nasa ibabaw, the answer for that is 0. Pero for example, meron kang number na 3, halimbawa 3, tapos i-divide mo ng 0, yung 0 nasa ilalim, so yun na ang lalabas na doon ay, pag nasa 0 sa ilalim, ang lalabas po doon ay, ang hirap magsulat, ang lalabas po doon ay undefined. Undefined na ang lalabas. Pwede nyo rin itry sa calculator yung sinasabi ko, ha? Yung number or 0 sa ibabaw, tapos 3 sa ilalim, or kahit na anong number sa ilalim, wag lang 0, so 0 lalabas. Any number, tapos 0 naman sa ilalim, lalagay sa calculator, math error, or cannot divide by 0. So, depende kung anong program doon. Okay? Basta bawal daw na denominator ang 0. Okay, going back to this one. So, itong negative 6, ililipat sa kabila. So, magiging positive 6. So, therefore, x is not equal to positive 6. Okay? Okay, burahin natin to. Baka ayaw mo bura. Ay, ayaw mo bura. Mabura ka! Hoy! Ayaw mabura. Yun. Okay. Sorry, may nalalagay pa tayo dyan. Okay, so yan. Ito na yung dalawa nating na-compute. Not equal to 0, tsaka not equal to positive 6. So therefore, so paano na yan? The domain now is, all real numbers except, dalawa yung sagot natin kasi, no? 0 tsaka 6. All real numbers except 0 and 6. I hope that one is clear. No? So, sana malinaw na yon. So, again, ginamitan pa rin ng factoring. No? Nag-factoring talaga muna, tapos saka kinompute. Okay, so that is how to find the domain. Okay, last one, paano naman pag radical sign? Tandaan nyo kapag denominator ang nilalagay, not equal to 0. Paano naman pag radical sign? So, kapag radical sign, kukuhanin mo yung nasa loob ng radical sign, ayan, nasa loob ng radical sign, which is x minus 5, kukunin mo lang yan. Tapos, ang lalagay mo naman, hindi na not equal to 0 kapag nasa loob ng radical sign. It should be greater than or equal to the 0 kasi bawal siyang mag-negative. Pwede siyang mag-equal sa 0, pwede siyang mag-positive kasi greater than 0 naman yon, no? Wag lang less than 0, no? Pag less than 0, negative na yon. Okay, so ganun pa rin, iba lang yung symbol natin. Okay, so lilipat yung negative 5 doon, so positive 5 na. So therefore, the answer is x should be greater than or equal to positive 5. Pag binalikan natin dito, pag 5 minus 5 is 0. Square root ng 0, 0. Pwede pa. Pero kung bawasan natin, gawin natin 4 to. Dapat daw mas mataas or pantay sa 5. Gawin natin 4. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Ang square root ng negative 1 ay imaginary na siya, no? So, hindi nasakop ng pinag-aaralan natin kasi. Kasi ang pinag-aaralan natin ay real numbers lang, no? Okay, so therefore, paano naman ang pagbibigay ng domain yan? So, ganun pa rin. All real numbers wherein x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay? So, ganun po yun. Okay. So, the same pa rin po tayo ng setup. So, kapag try this pa rin tayo, meron pa rin tayong try this dito sa ating channel. So, it's the time for you to practice what you have learned. Okay, so you're asked to find the domain of the following rational algebraic expressions. So, galingan po ah. Good luck! Okay, so here are the correct answers for our try this. So, sa palagi ko nga sinasabi that I hope you got a score of 5, pero kung hindi man po, paki-review yung ating mga answers kung saan tayo nagkamali para mas lalo nating maintindihan yung ating pinag-aaralan. And I hope mas nagustuhan nyo yung ating panibagong setup. Again, pwede nyo pong i-comment sa comment section kung ano po ang masasabi nyo sa ating panibagong setup. Minamaximize po natin yung technology para mas maging presentable yung ating presentation, yung What's Up Guys natin, at saka mas madali nyong maintindihan at mas masarap tignan or panoorin yung inyong pinapanood na lecture. Okay? So, I hope to see you again in our next videos. What's up, guys?